What's up, YouTube? Demi here with another build guide. This is a lightning trap Scion, which is Saboteur and Inquisitor. Pretty cool combination. I'll go ahead and run a map real quick so you can see. Let's just do a random T15. Basilica's a terrible boss, but I'll run it just for you guys. I've taken this build from, what did we start with today? Level 77-ish today, all the way up to level 91.2. Even though I died a couple times because I was being stupid. So it's a really good build. As soon as I got to like level 70, I started doing T11 plus maps, red maps, just immediately with like budget gear out the gate. I'm still wearing really crap gear, which we'll go over after this map. But my damage is there, and one of the cool things about the character is you can do basically any map mod ever, because we don't leech, we don't reflect because we're traps. We're not really relying on mana regen since we have Eldritch Battery and Tinker Skin for infinite mana. As you can see, my ES, I'm spending ES instead of mana, and you get energy shield back whenever you detonate a trap with Tinker Skin. I'll go back for that later. So as long as you throw traps on enemies, you get back your energy shield, and you can just throw another trap set. It's kind of dumb. I think Path of Building says I'm doing something like 100 to 130k damage per throw, or per trap, sorry, per projectile, right? And I throw 4 traps. And it's a lot of damage. The damage is there even though I'm wearing garbage. If I had actually really good gear, I feel like this would be higher damage than the Saboteur variant, which I guess I can link in the description below this video if you want like a slightly safer version with less DPS. Like that character is wearing a lot better gear than this one, so obviously it does more damage. But this one has way more LE pen and crit multi from the ascendancy nodes. Whoa, can't move. I'm gonna leave that in the video because that happens sometimes. As I was gonna say, the Saboteur version has an AoE blind that's always up, right? Scion doesn't get that from the Saboteur ascendancy. You get a chance to blind on hit, which is different, obviously. Like if you're hitting something a lot, they get blinded, but otherwise you're just relying on phase acro, and sometimes they get through that, which is kind of a problem. But hey, it happens. That's why I play softcore, right? I want to be able to make mistakes. I also tried to do Hall of Grandmasters on this character without doing any like prior preparation for it, and I did pretty well. I'll post that video at some point and link it, but it was just like I got murdered by Chaos Degen because I don't have any Chaos res on my gear right now, which is why I'm really afraid of these stupid snakes. They're half Chaos. But yeah, other than that, it's been pretty smooth. Like, I only die if I make a really stupid mistake where I run a really rippy map, such as extra fire damage, minus max, or sorry, extra cold minus max, and LE reflect stuff. Like, it's just, I'm running dumb maps. But hey, it's fun. Oh god, I have to run Innocence. I will die in this boss fight if I run this boss. I hate Innocence, he's such a dick. Let's try it. Or is it? Yeah, no, it is. If I do this deathless, I better get a prize. See, the damage is good, but this dude has like 12 phases, so we have to deal with this now. What else have I had on this? I don't know, I think I'm wearing, let's see, how much is my gear? I bought a 6-link Tinker Skin for 5.5x. Everything else, every other slot, every other like jewel, whatever, I don't think I spent more than 50C, 60C on each piece individually. That's pretty cheap, honestly. That probably sounds like a lot to some of you, but I leveled with, oh god, I leveled with Lightning Trap from level 12 onwards, and from level 1 to whatever, 1 to 12, I just used Explosive Trap. So it's like, you can start this as a League starter, you can do it as a SSF build, budget character, however you want to see it. Like, it's a very smooth leveling process. I didn't even bother doing Lab until level 70 because I didn't feel like I needed it. And then I soloed all of my labs. Oops, I just zoomed in. Alright, we're not doing this boss. That was such... fuck, dude. I just got bitch slapped. Whatever, I'm leaving it. As you can see, we're pretty squishy. That's okay. It happens. So, as for the ascendancies, we are Inquisitor as Saboteur, as I said. You go Saboteur for the AoE, LE pen, regen, really important here, because we can't leech. and we don't have a lot of regen. You get up to 20% regen here. If you throw 5 times, you're at 20% regen, which is really good. And then you have that chance to blind on hit that we talked about. I also take this Path of the Shadow, so I can allocate from Shadow start. It saves you like 20 points getting there or something like that. It's very, very valuable. And then Inquisitor, same thing. We get crit multi, enemies that are affected by status ailments, which is, or elemental ailments, sorry, which is everything that we crit. If you crit, you deal, we got cold and lightning, so we're dealing shock, freeze, chill. They're always affected by that if you hit them, basically. You get Ellie Pen, you get Consecrated Ground when you hit a rare unique enemy, which is never up, and you get immunity to ailments while on Consecrated Ground, which is never up, because I don't have a way to generate Consecrated Ground. But if you carried a Consecrated Ground flask instead of a Wise Oak, you'd get that all the time. Or if you had the Glove Enchant of Light, you get that all the time, but I haven't figured out a way to get that to proc reliably yet. And then you have nearby enemies take 10% increased elemental damage. That is a 10% more multiplier to all of your damage ever. Pretty good. And then you just kind of take all the life nodes on this side of the tree. So I started out by pathing through these nodes until I got up to here, grabbed this stuff, and then I filled out this part of the tree and whatnot. Leave crit multi stuff for last and leave frenzy chargers for last, and then go for jewels last after that. Do not grab Eldritch Battery until you have a Tinker Skin, because that's what actually allows you to do the energy shield when your trap is triggered by an enemy stuff. Otherwise, just use a mana pot and drop one of your auras, you'll be fine. Life, crit multi stuff, extra trap throwing speeds, whatever. Over here we got all the life nodes, some spell damage, some LE resist damage stuff, crit for spells, spell damage, and life nodes. We actually have a fair amount of life for a trapper. That's one of the nice parts about seeing Scion, is you can go to this side of the tree and it doesn't penalize you for it. Normally if I was on the right side of the tree, I would have like maybe 4.5, 5k life. If I had really good gear, I'd have like 5.5k. This character can easily achieve 6.5k, because I'm still missing some jewel sockets. Like I want to grab, where is it? This jewel over there, and then I want to grab this jewel, I think, or this jewel. I still have 3 more jewels I can grab, which is going to give me another probably 300 life or so. Pretty solid. Bandits, I went for Illyria this time for the crit multi all res, and the mana regen's okay, I guess, while leveling. Jewels, I go for rare type, like normal jewels with trap throwing speed, because it like Scion doesn't get a lot of trap throwing speed, and it feels a lot better if you can get a bunch of this on your jewels. So you go for max life, trap throwing speed, and then anything after that's a bonus. So any sort of damage mods, you can get damage, lightning damage, projectile damage, spell damage while holding a shield, crit multi with spells, global crit multi with elemental, crit multi with lightning. Any of that stuff works, because lightning trap is tagged with trap, spell, projectile, and lightning, and duration. So I guess you could figure something out to work with that. But yeah, this one's damage, attack speed, life, trap throwing speed. The attack speed helps my shield charge, so I go in for that as well. Same exact thing here, except for it's spell damage this time, but it's the same amount, so it does the same thing. What else we got? This one, life, trap throwing speed, projectile damage. This one I need to exalt, but I don't want to do that. And this one is attack speed, life, trap throwing speed, global crit multi. Hey, all the things we want. As for your abyssal jewels, I went for life, penetration if you haven't killed recently, which, because we are a trapper, you never kill anything yourself, so you get that pen all the time. And the same thing with a crit if you haven't crit recently. Unless you shield charge into something and crit, you never crit with yourself, only your traps crit, so you get that bonus all the time, which is pretty nice. Let's see, what's next? Gear stuff. So, what's most important here? Again, Tinker Skin. If you don't have a Tinker Skin, drop an aura for now. Like, don't use one of your Heralds or Wrath or something, so you have the mana and just use a mana pot for now. Once you can get a Tinker Skin and get a 5-link, then you're pretty much good to go to use Eldritch Battery. Other things that are required, gloves that have skills which throw traps, throw 1 additional trap. That is required. These are Shaper gloves. They're fairly easy to roll yourself if you just like get a shaped base. I think it's like level 75 minimum for that roll. Something like that. 75 or 80. Just alt spam until you get it, and then regal it, and then craft life on it, and you're done. You don't need to worry about too much. As long as it has that mod, you're good. This is basically giving me 12 dex, which I don't need, 17 lightning res, which is garbage, and 58 life plus the trap mod. So I could just... I don't need the lightning res. Like, it's just happening. So get additional trap there. The reason for that is normally with cluster traps, you throw 3 traps total. So that extra trap per throw is 4 traps. That's 25%, or sorry, that's 33% more damage per throw, which is pretty huge. I have about 100k damage per hit, so I deal 300k without it, 400k with. That's really good. Everything else is just rares, right? So helmet, life, stats, resist, whatever you need. Amulet, life, crit multi if possible. Lightning damage is great, spell damage is great, crit strike chance is great, but if you need stats, resist, whatever you can get here, go for it. Ring, same thing. Life resist stats, whatever you need. Life resist stats, whatever you need. If you can get shaped rings that have additional lightning or additional cold damage to spells, that's really helpful. Spells and attacks, whichever one that is. That helps a lot on your damage. Extra cold is really nice because it allows you to shatter mobs with your stuff, so you don't have to worry about porcupine explosions or detonate dead explosions because there's no bodies left, they just shatter. Plus you get that nice satisfying crunch. Shield, go for spell damage, lightning damage if possible, along with some crit for spells, and then life resist. This is just like, I think this is like 30C. They're really cheap for life crit resist stuff, and then I got some spell lightning damage on here as well. Boots, movement speed, life resist, stats if you need them. Boots, or sorry, belt, life resist, stats if you need them. Same shit every time. You noticing a trend here? As for enchants, you're gonna want lightning trap penetrates 10% resistance on your helmet. It's a lot of damage. Boot enchant, I would recommend penetrates damage, or sorry, yeah, damage penetrates resist if you haven't killed recently, because again, if you don't kill anything, your traps do. You get that bonus all the time. So that means you can have 20% pen here, and lightning pen would give you another, I think, 37 at level 20. So you're looking at 57% lightning pen without anything else. It's kind of dumb. Gloves, we've already gone over. Life resist if you can get it. Traps required. Flasks. So diamond flask and quicksilver flask with movement speed and a basalt flask with curse immunity. As long as you get 23 or higher reduced charges used, you can get 2 uses out of this. These already have 2 uses, so you're good there. But the curse and the freeze is interchangeable. You can have it on either one. If you use a consecrated ground flask, a sulfur flask, you'll not need the freeze because you'll have that up all the time due to your Inquisitor stuff, immunity to ailments, right? And then I have a remove bleed, catalyze eternal life flask. You can use an instant divine flask if you wanted. I just prefer the regen over time. It's just personal preference. So let's get into Pantheons. I have cannot be stunned if you've been hit, or sorry, if you've stunned in the last 2 seconds, so we don't get stun locked easily. And then this gives us some phys mitigation if you've been hit. It's kind of nice if you want to do chaos or damage maps, take this one. If you want to do like trials or labs or whatever, this is pretty helpful as well. But I just been running this, it seems to be good. What's next? Jewel links, gem links, sorry. So we got shield charge, faster attacks, fortify, pretty standard setup. So you can move. The fortify means you take 20% less damage taken from hits. So you shield charge into a pack and then throw stuff at it, it'll die, and you'll blow it up, it'll be great. And then I have a, let's do the main links next. So in order of priority, lightning trap, cluster traps, and then trap and mine damage, pierce, controlled destruction, and lightning pen. The pierce allows you to like shatter through packs. If you don't want to use pierce, you can use added lightning, I think is the next best damage, but you lose the pierce, so when you're clearing out packs, it feels a lot worse. For boss fighting, if you have this color set up, you just take this out and put in slower projectiles and you'll be fine. And then lightning pen is your last link, I think I said that. In your gloves, you have lightning spire trap, which is a huge amount of burst damage for boss fighting. It hits a lot. I have that linked to Conk Effect, which actually needs Vault, added lightning, and trap and mine damage. Let's see if we get 21. Rip. After that, we have our Castle Damage Taken setup. So we have Castle Damage Taken, Immortal Call, linked to increased duration, so that the Immortal Call lasts longer, and Summon Lightning Golem. Limit this level based on how much HP you have. I have about 6k life, and it's set to deal a total of 1980 damage before it triggers, so it takes about a third of my life to go off. It's preference. If you want it to trigger all the time, use a really low level one. What that means is that your golem will be lower level. If you want it to be a really high level one, and so you have a high level golem, it'll trigger less often. I go for a balance, usually like 25%, 30% of my life, I'll go with that amount. And then aura setups, because we have the Eldritch Battery interaction, I can reserve 100% of my mana. So I have Herald of Ice for that extra cold damage, Herald of Thunder for the extra lightning damage to spells, and Wrath for even more lightning spell damage. Just lots of damage, basically. If you wanted to, you could use like a Blasphemy and Feeble setup if you don't feel safe, or a Conductivity setup if you wanted to do all sorts of damage, early weakness, whatever you want. Temp Chains is an option as well. And then I have a random Portal Gem because I'm lazy. Then I have a Bear Trap. Bear Trap has been buffed so that if you trap an enemy, enemies that you trap take 15% increased damage from trap or mine hits. That is a 15% more multiplier to our damage. Pretty useful for boss fights. I never use it otherwise. If the boss is standing still, throw a bear trap at it, throw some lightning traps at it, lightning spire traps at it, and that'll go off, and then you can blow it up with the rest. That's pretty cool. Then I have a self-cast elemental weakness just because I rarely ever remember to use this because it's not very effective on bosses, so it's just kind of a thing that I have. Up to you if you want to use that. I believe that's everything I need to cover. So, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let me know what builds you guys are doing in Delve or how your progress is going. I've been waiting on the patch to hit so that I can start sharing my delves, because this is what you get after finishing Act 1 through 10. It just automatically dives this deep. But I want to be able to run into my delves on my other characters, so just kind of waiting for that and leveling a character in the meantime. I'm having a good time with it. I'm pretty sure this could do everything in the game if you're like not as bad at getting one shot as I am. I haven't actually, I want to check how many deaths I have. I know that when I finished Act 10 Kitava, which was like level 60 something, I had 40 deaths. So I've died 22 times in maps, which is pretty bad. But keep in mind, I instantly went into red maps at level 70, which is not something you normally do. But yeah, it's a solid build. I'll include the path of building pastebin in the description below the video. If you want to help support me in what I do, my Patreon, my stream, my merch store, discount code LEMON, by the way, 10% off, just LEMON. They're all linked in the description below this video. I would appreciate that if you checked out the merch store. We have some pretty cute stuff. It's all super high quality, super comfortable, and it does help me out a lot. So thanks for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one. That'll be Demi out. Oh my god, I forgot to show you how much pen I have. Look at all this pen. 85% lightning pen. So much pen. Pen me up inside.